I'm so glad to be here. I appreciate the invitation from the organizers and His Highness, Excellencies, distinguished guests. I'm especially glad to see the young people in the back of the room. I think they're still here. Yes. Good, because I have a part of my presentation is dedicated to you. What I want to present to you today covers 4 different case studies. The first one is a project we basically will give you background in terms of where we came from in terms of off-the-grid technologies. And then the last 3 projects are related to projects here in Ajman. We have offices, we started a company here called Pangaean MENA. We've teamed up with a company here called Alliance. And I'll be actually going into more detail on the technologies and the approaches that we've taken on Wednesday at the Sustainable Leadership Conference, if anybody wants a little more detail on what I'm presenting today. What I'm going to talk about, please begin the presentation. The visions of everybody that's been here, I'm sure, has gone through years and years of hearing vision statements from governments, from corporations, from nations, etc. And it's always frustrating to me to see visions always seem to be the same year after year. And so it's very frustrating to us that sustainability has not yet made that leap into a profitability area where we can actually say that our visions have come true. So what I'd like to talk to you today about, Pangaean's main mission in our global effort is to prove that sustainability is profitable. We have to get over this myth that sustainability, it costs more, it's a setback, it's trying all of our culture, etc. We have to move beyond this because sustainability is our future. I guess it's just me. What's up? What we've done, our company is based in the United States. We're in Denver, Colorado, New York, Los Angeles, in Lihue and the island of Kauai. And we're opening an office in Singapore. We have offices in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and we hope to have an office shortly after this conference in Ajman. I guess they're still finding it. Here it comes. That's not mine. Thomas, would you like to present? The first thing that I want to go over in terms of the vision statements is that they're all admirable, and what I'm curious is to know what is the methodology by which the visions will actually become reality, so that they're just not visions, but they actually become fact. The Ajman vision, I think, is really noble. To enhance and maintain sustainable economic development in Ajman through an active participation of nationals. This is excellent. The UAE vision, of course, is to become among the best countries in the world. I've basically just listed a few of the key points of the topics of their particular vision. And this is actually on a very, very good track to becoming reality. National visions range all over the world, but I just picked a couple just to show you the demonstration. India's vision is to create decent green jobs. Now this is, of course, I'm just picking some very high priority items of their visions. Finland is going a little bit deeper into understanding the carrying capacity of our natural resources. Then you have corporate visions. Corporate visions are a little bit easier to undertake because they literally have something they can target. They can actually fix their energy modeling, they can save water, etc. It's a little bit harder to define that in terms of a national vision. The World Bank sees something completely different. They see a world free of poverty. This is very, very hard to become reality unless they really have measurable steps to attain that. But it's a great and admirable goal. I think the United Nations has a very unique approach, which is that it must be politically realistic. This is Agenda 21, which was Agenda 21 was formed in 1992, and basically what I'm suggesting is here is that from 1992 to 2012, we still are reorienting. And we have not really advanced beyond that, and it's phenomenally frustrating to see this. So the question is are the visions actually based on the wrong thinking? Maybe we need to change the way we're actually thinking about the future. And I like this quote by Albert Einstein, which is, we can't solve today's problems by using the same kind of thinking that created them. Now, there's many projects out here which I'm very delighted to see the distinguished guests, and the topics that are coming up are going to show you that there are new ways to think about problems. You really have to turn them upside down to approach the new ways of thinking. And the old thinking is that sustainability costs more. So the new thinking is sustainability actually can be profitable. Now, what I'm going to show here just very briefly is that sustainability is profitable based on an MIT Sloan Management survey. It surveyed more than 4,000 executives. Over 113 countries were represented. 70% of the companies place sustainability permanently on their management agendas. 66% say sustainability is imperative to remain competitive. So watching the trends. First of all, sustainability is new. It's a new idea. If you remember the new car, the first car was expensive. It was not profitable. The first computer was not profitable. So you have to give sustainability some patience. But it is reaching that climax. We have now reached that point. Embedding sustainability into business. So now they're demonstrating that of all these companies that were surveyed, over 67% now are pursuing sustainability, and they were embedding it into their companies' business models. I think this is a very interesting graph demonstrating that these are where some sections of the world where sustainability is on a leap. It's a leap forward. It's moving very quickly. You see Africa, the Middle East is climbing way up there. Asia and Pacific is as well. The countries that are leading in sustainability commitment, probably not unusual for those in the audience, 63% Europe, 35% North America, etc. What are the greatest benefits to your organization in addressing sustainability? The number one was improved brand reputation. The second was increased competitive advantage, then better innovation of products. I like this one particularly, better innovation. This means that they were changing the thinking of their product and their services. The profitability by the industry, this is very interesting. If you look at the top of the list, those who are embedding sustainability into their businesses are consumer-related products and industries. Down at the very bottom of the list, you can see who's struggling with embedding sustainability is the media and entertainment, because they have really less incentive to do so, and financial services as well. This is our first project I'm going to show you. This is where we embedded sustainability into our business model. We literally had to go into the community. This is in Hawaii. We had to readdress the whole infrastructure. We had to talk to the utility companies and break that mold, get them out of being siloed companies and into an integrated utility company. That was our biggest challenge. It's called Wailani. It's on the island of Kauai. This is the beautiful island. If any of you have ever been to Hawaii, this is Paradise Island. This is the island where you filmed Jurassic Park, all the beautiful landscapes, the waterfalls, and so forth. This is Kauai. This community was set up for 35,000 residents. It's located in the capital city of Lihue. So what I'm showing you in this drawing is basically the Wailani community. It has schools, it has a commercial center, offices, recreation, etc. What we had to do first was we had to identify the technologies to form an integrated infrastructure. To us, it's not good enough just to have a green building. You can have as many LEED, platinum buildings, or SDNAMA, Pearl 5 or 6 buildings you want, but if the community's infrastructure is not built as a sustainable community, those buildings basically are just performing on their own. So you really must start with an integrated infrastructure component. You have to look at all these things, and I think sorely missing from the sustainability subject is food. You can't live without food. So where did food get left off of the sustainability portfolio? You usually talk about energy, renewable energy, water, waste, transportation, but everybody forgets about food. Hawaii is unfortunately on a destructive, non-sustainable path, if you can imagine it. This is paradise, if you ever go there. But 98% of their food is imported. 99% of their energy is imported. They're on a completely non-sustainable path. This is our EcoSim tool. We developed this with British Aerospace. British Aerospace uses this tool to design their aircraft carriers, their fighter jets. Essentially what they do is they model all these technologies that are selected. They run them through the computer, the simulation modeling, and it tells them how this aircraft carrier is literally going to perform, how much it's going to cost, etc., before they build it. So we asked them, can we use that same kind of a tool for a community? So we teamed up with them and we created EcoSim. So what you're seeing here is a graphic demonstration of a wastewater simulation, where literally we can basically put inside this model any technology out there, a Siemens product, a Carrier product, and basically run the simulation modeling and find out how well that technology performed before we actually build the community. What resulted in our case study was that we have renewable energy earning $9 million annually. We're saving 47% water conservation. We have a biogas plant producing 4 megawatts. That's producing and selling electricity back to the utilities at $28 million a year. And this is also very interesting, and I think the UAE needs to harness this. This is a very, very strong revenue engine. This is ecotourism. And it's based on ecotourism, not on just going out into nature and enjoying nature. This is actually ecotourism of your infrastructure. So literally when people come to Lihue, they'll get in electric vehicles and they'll drive around and see the sewage treatment plant. And they'll go see the renewable energy farm. They'll go see the food farms. So basically your infrastructure now becomes a revenue engine. It's part of the ecotourism. $3.4 million in annual revenue from the infrastructure tourism. And these, by the way, are run by college students, high school students. This is embedded into their curriculum. This is how we actually real-time performance monitor the region. These graphs represent, if you can see Wailani in the middle there, you can see the different graphs. That's the ideal graph. That would be like equivalent to an Esidama Pearl 6 building or Pearl 6 community, where it's really, really bright red, bright blue, and so forth. This is really, really dismal. This is a really bad graph. It shows you're wasting energy, you're not using gray water, you have a hard carbon footprint, etc. These are dynamic graphs. So what this means is that our sensors are basically going up and down every day, telling us how well those particular regions around Lihue are performing. And this is very helpful to the government. This is just examples of the new agriculture that was created to start producing the food, which again they don't have to import. Meat and dairy, egg production, 500 cattle ranch, biofuels from the organic waste. So we take all that waste from the animals, from the agriculture, and it goes into biogas farms. And our aquaculture, this has been very, very successful in Hawaii. This is offshore aquaculture, and it's extremely fun to scuba dive here because this is where you'll see the sharks. Because the sharks basically predate around these tanks because they see their food right in there, but they can't get them. But it's a great place to watch sharks. They're like looking at their menu, but they can't participate in it. But this is phenomenally, phenomenally successful and profitable. This is our case study 2. This is for the young people in the crowd and for adults as well. We're developing this in the UAE and in other parts. This, surprisingly enough, this is the first place in the world where we have been able to put together a sports park with over 150 sports in one place. Generally speaking, when you go to a sports area, like Al Ain, for example, Wadi Adventure, they'll have 3 sports. They've got surfing, they've got whitewater rafting, and they've got the rope course. That's 3 sports. Our parks have 150 in one location. So what we'd like to do is build one in Ajman, and we had a nice discussion last evening, and this is, I'll show you where our site is, what we would like to explore. Our sponsors in Abu Dhabi would like to create sports leagues. So these would be basically 10 parks around the UAE, 10 leagues, and over 1,000 sports. So this would be, for example, the league would be in badminton, it would be in rollerblading, it would be in skydiving, it would be in surfing, etc. Just basically a league for each of the 150 sports in 10 different locations. And we would have annual competitions like the Olympic Games in the UAE. We have right now about 4 sites selected in Abu Dhabi area. And this is the site that I looked at in Ajman. This basically represents about 22 hectares, or 220,000 square meters, and that's sliced between the 2 red lines. This would give us opportunity of having about 25 to 30 sports in the ocean and about 25 water sports in the mangrove. Right now in Abu Dhabi, we collaborate with the mangrove tours on kayaks. And then in between, we have all the land sports. This is just a quick diagram of phase 1. What's beautiful about our parks is that they're up in 2 to 4 months. So they're generating revenue and they pay back the investors in 2 years. The reason why they're eco-friendly is because we don't use any potable water. These are not rides like a water park. Every water park that you see is using potable water. Our water parks use seawater. We don't use any potable water for any of our rides. And of course, it's sand and it's water are most of our sports, and these are active sports. So you can see this is just a sampling of some of the sports. Underwater propulsion sports. We have submersibles for families. We have a submarine called a sea breacher, which basically you get in it and it jumps out of the water like a shark, or a dolphin. It comes back down in the water. You can flip and turn it. These are really incredible extreme sports. Everything from electric miniature remote control buggies. This is race car driving. You can see the people holding their cars. These are all electric, so they're not using the fossil fuels. I'll get to the power source. This is bag jump. So if you're an extreme athlete, you can ride your bicycle and fall into the bag, or you can just jump off of a tower. This is the skateboards, BMX, bicycles, border cross, and skydiving. This is human boarding. I recommend this for everybody here. It's put on a helmet. Your hands and your knees are all wheels, and you go down. It's quite fun. This is our mangrove kayaking and paddleboard. So this would be great for observation and preservation in the region here in Ajman. So we actually do quite a bit of eco-adventure, overnight camping. We do education. We take scouts out. We have high school groups. We have college groups. So we train them in all of these activities. Basically, our campsites are mobile, so we literally can pick our parks up and move them. We have one project on Reem Island, which is a portable camp, basically building 35 hectares, and then we'll be moving it in 2 years. These are what the sites look like. So there's over